Welcome all to a very different Royal Welsh Show. In normal times, HCC's breakfast would herald in a weeks-long celebration about the Welsh way of life and the strengths of our incredible industry. But these are not normal times. We've suffered a public health crisis like none in living memory, and we'll be dealing with the fallout for years to come. We must all learn the lessons of lockdown and ensure we all treasure and value quality food on our plates. Yes, food security is higher up the political agenda, but that's largely down to the farmers, auctioneers, butchers, processing and delivery workers and retail staff that have put it there. We've kept food on the nation's table, and in these dark days, our industry has been a beacon of hope. The impact of COVID-19 on the red meat market first became evident in March. Steaks and prime cuts stayed in the order books, fridges and freezers of restaurants and pubs as they shut their doors. Quality products were devalued as lockdown brought the panic buying of mince and cheaper cuts in big volumes. Family Easter celebrations, a major sales point for lamb, didn't happen on their usual scale, and exports were disrupted, and we saw great turbulence in the markets for cattle and sheep. This crisis needed a rapid response. HCC instantly switched its marketing focus, innovating around new initiatives, picking up on the trends from social isolation. We wanted to inspire people to cook new recipes at home and to treat themselves to buying roasting joints, hindquarter cuts and premium fresh meat. We also realised that consumers were spending a quarter of their waking day online and listening to more radio. So we in turn bought advertising on Facebook, Instagram and commercial radio. Home cooks were looking for new ideas, so we enlisted our culinary dozen. These are well-known chefs who agreed to create videos from home. Families were also homeschooling, so we produced 30 targeted activities to educate primary age children about healthy diets, food and farming. We planned and delivered the Make It Beef campaign, one of the industry's largest multimedia campaigns of recent years. By the end of May, this work had contributed to an increase of 40% on consumer spending on beefsteaks. This wasn't just existing customers buying more, the number of people buying beefsteaks was up by 30%, as we saw consumers turn into quality fresh meat. Our independent butchers saw an even bigger jump in sales, beef up over 40%, lamb up 25%. Busy butchers became community heroes, providing a lifeline to the vulnerable. This valuable work produced a sound platform to build on. Alongside our Welsh Lamb seasonal campaign, we put together the Make It Lamb campaign. Again, this was a GB-wide initiative with our partners. It's running right now. Celebrity chef John Turode is leading it, and we already have many of Britain's largest retailers fully on board. What a positive response that's been to the early problems of COVID-19. But the second half of 2020 will also bring a set of worrying challenges for our industry. In the next 6 months, we are faced with a menacing maelstrom of uncertainty. Sadly, there is no sign of the curtain coming down on COVID. For some months at least, it will remain centre stage, forcing the necessary social distancing measures that will impact severely on our food service sector. And waiting stage right is the potential catastrophe of Brexit. With time ticking on the post-Brexit trade talks, uncertainty continues to reign and lots of end-of-year outcomes still remain possible. We're planning for all scenarios, but from our industry's standpoint, there is simply no upside to any of these outcomes other than continued free trade with Europe. A harder Brexit is looming, and that would potentially bring massive tariffs on our exports and threats to our domestic market from new trade deals with Australia, New Zealand and America. Our industry in Wales just does not deserve this. In the recent months of hardship, it's shown what it can do. Quality food produced sustainably, trusted and traceable back to the farm gate. And speaking of sustainability, that was the theme of our new TV campaign at the start of the year. And it is, of course, at the heart of everything we do. Later this year, we'll be setting ambitious goals through our sustainability roadmap. Our red meat development programme, funded by the EU and Welsh Government, is driving the industry forward to produce efficiency, produce what the consumer wants, and ensure product consistency and, of course, increase sustainability. With our processes, we've already achieved a significant extension of Welsh lamb shelf life, making us more competitive in a range of markets and helping to cut food waste. We've launched a bold partnership with academia, a research programme to understand how livestock production the Welsh way can be even more sustainable and yet still profitable. It must be remembered that the Welsh way means more than a method of production. It is a way of life. Livestock agriculture drives the economy in huge swathes of our country. Its income is spent within the local community. It employs thousands in rural areas, and our iconic products are among the most valuable of Wales's exports. Premium PGI Welsh lamb and PGI Welsh beef are superb examples of the Welsh food brand that we want to promote worldwide. Food security is rightly higher up on the public's agenda, and they're right to be concerned about the food they're eating. In recent months, consumers have realised just how vital a domestic, thriving farming sector is to us all, and they've bought into it. To now consider importing food of lesser standard, to open our doors to red meat from countries where it's produced more intensively and less sustainably, is truly foolhardy and, quite frankly, just plain wrong. And finally, thank you for the opportunity to address the opening of this virtual Royal Welsh Show. And well done to everyone at the Royal Welsh for putting on this virtual feast. It keeps farming's massive contribution to the Welsh economy and culture constantly in the spotlight. And from us all at HCC, we're looking forward to putting on something more substantial than this virtual breakfast when we all meet up again next year in 2021. Thank you.
I would like to start by thanking HCC for organising today's event and hope you are all safe and well. It is of course deeply disappointing the show, like many other wonderful Welsh cultural celebrations, is unable to take place this year. In particular, as my first main event of the week, the HCC breakfast, sets the scene for the show, and I will really miss seeing you all in person and enjoying the breakfast that always sets me up for the rest of the day. I'm sure you will agree public health comes first, and thanks to the public's efforts, we have succeeded in bringing the fire of coronavirus under control, but that fire is not out yet. The worst thing that could happen is a second spike, which is why we continue our rational and cautious approach. However, the Welsh Government will do its very best working with the Royal Welsh Agricultural Society to ensure the show can take place next year. Ordinarily, the Royal Welsh Show provides a chance for hard-working farming families to take a break, meet up with friends, discover new ideas and working practices, and enjoy the many delights the show has to offer. For many farming families, lockdown has brought with it even greater isolation, on top of the huge logistical and financial challenges that continuing to produce the essential food and produce the rest of the country needs to survive. The last few months have been difficult for everybody, and whilst our key workers and NHS heroes have been rightly praised, the media and the public have not always celebrated the part farmers and food producers have played as much as I believe they should. So today, my main message to you is simple. Thank you. Thank you for your hard work, and thank you for your steadfast determination and heroic efforts in unprecedented circumstances. Thank you on behalf of the people of Wales. You are at the very heart of our food chains and our environmental resilience, even more so during this global pandemic. It is absolutely right that we as a Welsh Government should support you in these challenging times, and I am pleased the relaxation of single farm payment application deadlines, BPS conditions and the provision of financial support have been supported by the industry. Our fantastic Welsh dairy sector, which plays an important role in feeding the nation, felt the immediate impact of the pandemic with the closure of the food service and hospitality sectors. I was therefore pleased to be able to launch a scheme to support those dairy producers hardest hit by the recent exceptional market conditions due to COVID-19 and maintain their environmental and animal health and welfare standards. The scheme opened on June the 3rd and so far £600,000 has been paid to farmers. I also want to highlight the fantastic promotional campaigns underway, encouraging consumers to purchase red meat and led of course by HCC. We have a Welsh-specific campaign by HCC working with high-profile chefs and other celebrities to produce cooking videos to showcase our amazing Welsh beef. There is also the Make It campaign, which is a £1.2 million collaboration between HCC, Quality Meat Scotland and AHDB, funded through the Ring-Fenced Fund. It aims to reach 85% of UK households and deliver a 3-to-1 return on investment. One positive from the pandemic is the number of consumers turning to their local food outlets in high numbers, including butchers, for their food supply, looking to buy from local business, but also becoming more aware of where their food comes from and actively looking for Welsh produce. This has seen a rise in beef sales by around 49% and lamb by 25%. This change in shopping habits is something that we are encouraging as we move out of lockdown measures to bolster our rural economy, to safeguard our food security and of course to support you as the primary producers. We need to move forward together to ensure as a nation we recover from the COVID-19 crisis, but make sure the recovery protects not just the health of our nation, but safeguards the environment and helps our rural economy recover and flourish. As we move ever nearer to the end of the transition period and cutting ties with the European Union, we need to do whatever we can to maintain food standards. I don't believe any of you, no matter what your views on Brexit might be, want to see imports of cheap and inferior food products produced with lower animal welfare and hygiene standards from swamping our UK market. This is something Welsh Government is determined to fight against. So once again, the year ahead is likely to be challenging and uncertain. But these last few months have proven that yours is an industry full of hard-working, resourceful and resilient people. You have a deep and passionate bond with our land and are the beating heart of our rural communities. I know you can meet these challenges because you always do, and that you will continue to do so. I look forward to seeing you all as soon as possible. Take care and very best wishes.